Day 55. Day 55, folks. Just got a glimpse of myself. Would you believe me if I told you I was dressed this way for the express purpose of irritating my wife? Would you believe me if I said that? I woke up this morning and also, by the way, I'm trying to think of a gag with the sword to open the video, but I can only think of violently chopping things, and I keep doing that. It's upsetting everyone. Um, but the point I'm making is the first thing that happened to me this morning was I woke up and my wife told me I looked too relaxed, and she was like genuinely mad. So, of course, I put on these sunglasses and began sauntering around the house with my sword, reading passages from Moby Dick, as I'm one to do, in order to get into the flow of Herman Melville's like cadence, which is something you have to do sometimes. And it's been a rough morning, I guess what I'm saying. What I'm telling you right now is I'm recording this video in the brief period of time I have while my wife is out of the house because she doesn't want to hear from me right now. Wow, look at me. Wow, you know what? I'm starting to piss myself off. Well, I do kind of look like I look like I won tickets to a Carnival cruise that you're on. Like I didn't even pay for the tickets. And you can see me, you're sitting with your girlfriends, and I just kind of saunter over. I'm like, hey, ladies. I'm about to get kicked off the Carnival cruise, is what I'm saying. I look like a lost speedboat captain. Let's take it down here. I'll tell you a story real quick. I bought these sunglasses, which upon I stopped wearing them almost immediately after I bought them. Why do I look very fucked up and out of focus? That's great. I'm really good at this. I uh, I was in Rome. I know. Brendan's in Rome again in his head. But these sunglasses come from a place where it makes sense to discuss this. I was in Rome and I was very drunk, as you're one to be in Rome, wandering around with a red bottle of wine, and I knew that the sun was too bright. I knew enough to analyze that the sun was too bright. I was sober enough for that. And I walked into a sunglasses place, and the woman immediately started, pitching me what sunglasses to wear in Italian. And I was just like, see, see. And I just bought whatever she told me to buy. And they were these incredibly expensive like Prada sunglasses that I had no business buying for any reason whatsoever, and also incredibly feminine for me. They made sense in Europe. I walk around wearing these in Europe, and people don't bat an eye. But here, I feel I look a little. It's a little rough. I don't know. I don't know. I do look like I'm about to sell you something real bad. This is an insane way to look. Can you imagine living with me? This is awful. What have I done to the people around me? I think it's a Saturday, and I think that you should be chilling. And I got my sword. You got you. I assume you. How close can I get to the camera without breaking it? You have your sword. You've got your sunglasses, and you're thinking it's about to. It's time to take the midriff out. Maybe a little midriff, little torso action, some bare shoulders, guy or girl. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Maybe neither. We want to look beautiful. We want to look ready. We want to look kind of like we want to look like a character that the audience member instinctually knows you're a villain. They look at me. First of all, are these crooked, or is my fucking head crooked? They look at me and that you immediately go, well, this guy, his arc in the show is going to be he does something really. He's like clearly a snake, does something really bad in the second episode, and then in the third episode he dies by like I drown in like a kiddie pool. That's how my character gets killed off in the show when he looks like this. I gotta take these off now. I can't do it anymore. I can't be this for that long. And yeah, ultimately, I guess my wife is right. I look like a living margarita right now. So it's a Saturday. Let's get into it. Maybe, this past week was rough for me. Maybe I just need to, you know, bootstrap it. Let's, you know what? That's what we're going to do today. Hold on now, guys. I know what we're doing today now. At first I wasn't sure. Now I know. I need to stop being such a little, I know YouTube wants this. I know they want motivational content. They want, people, they get on their computer and they go, "Someone teach me how to live. I am lost in a cultureless world." Let's do it together. I know this guy. I've heard he's great. I haven't seen any of his real content, but I know he's taking care of young men. And I think that's great. And I think maybe I should become one of those young men that's being taken care of. So let's get into it. Let's really get into it.
See this guy? You all need your guy
Yeah.
that you can call and say, hey man, dude,
Uh-huh.
it's a grind. And you know what they say?
I
Listen,
love you.
they don't say, oh man, come over, let's crack open a beer.
Oh.
Hey man, you know what? Let's go out to the club tonight. Let's go
They
chase
don't
some
want to
girls. You know
we
what this
don't go
guy
out.
says? I'm going to the gym. See this
Oh.
guy?
That was a
You
little
all need your guy
I thought it was going to be
that you
cooler
can
than that.
call.
He just says to go to the gym. What if I already worked out? What if I'm calling him because I'm dealing with suicidal thoughts? What about then? What's he going to tell me to do then? Curls? Next video.
One day, the people that don't even believe in you will tell everyone how they met you.
Believe me, people that don't believe in you might tell them too. Like that may not be that may not stop them. They may have other reasons to tell them.
One
I've
day,
never
the
understood
people
these
that
videos.
don't
What is the
even
I've seen a lot of videos like this where it's like even by ordinary, relatively ordinary people where it's like my haters didn't believe and then do you guys have enemies? You guys have like active enemies working against you? What political like espionage scenario are you in that you have like people actively working against you? Are you sure that these people that you're addressing aren't a figment of your imagination? Perhaps an amalgamation of people you went to high school with that you presume are laughing at you? Is it possible that this is a tulpa you've manifested out of your own insecurities and that like some sort of weird shonen main character, low gravel AI voice talking about how your haters are being left behind isn't just an expression of you being deeply, deeply uncomfortable with your own life? Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn, not to judge.
Dude, if I saw a guy get
I don't
fat,
respect fat man. It
like
comes.
like
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm not being disrespectful. I don't have anything against fat people. That's not success to me. People
Huh?
are judging you before you open your mouth. Write this down.
Fair,
I'm a
true.
walking billboard. What do I look like?
I'm a
Dude,
walking
if
billboard.
I saw a guy get fat,
All right, so I get it. So if you're fat, people instinctually don't respect you. There is some truth to that. I gotta give it to Elliot here. I got to give it to him. Some people don't respect you. You are kind of a walking billboard. I'm not totally against this. I don't love the presentation. Let's one more time.
and get rich, I'm not looking up to him.
If a fat guy got rich, he's not looking up to him. So like what about like Warren Buffett? Yeah, I mean Warren Buffett ain't exactly svelte. What about Goethe? You know, I don't know if he's known for his wealth, but he was certainly he was a genius, right? But he was a portly gentleman. He had like gout or something. He was certainly eating a lot of schnitzel. So I mean, it feels like a broad brush to paint with. But then again, look how tight this man's shirt is.
I'm not being disrespectful.
Hard to say
I
no
don't
to
have
that.
anything against fat people. That's not success to me. People,
I don't think it's supposed to represent success. I digress. Let's go on.
if they can kick you off their porch in 30 seconds, you're weak.
Huh?
They may say no in the end.
He's teaching you how to do a B&E.
Them, I'm okay with that. That's a skill problem. But you need to be so good that you can.
They're dragging you off the porch. You're trying to sell them like a who knows. You're trying to sell them like a fake health insurance policy, and they're dragging you off the porch, and you're like, "Don't! I gotta last for at least 30 seconds, or I'm a little bitch." Dude, people go to these. People pay money to go to these. People actually actively pursue these for knowledge and with. What are the comments? I'm just realizing we could deal with some of the. We getting arrested for trespass. So I'm not the first person to immediately think of this. Excellent. Dude, I'm getting like the best motivational shit now. This like the hanging tree song in the background. Hold on, what? Wait, what? The war you win alone, don't celebrate it with others. 100, by the way, 158,000 likes. If you still don't understand, read again and again. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna help me. I suffered alone, I will celebrate the same way. That's a good philosophy for life. This really is sort of like it's it's brain rot stoicism. It's like someone who never once tried to ever like learn or take measurement of the things around them of themselves ever, and then they saw one video of someone very aggressively confidently saying one sentence and they went, I'm in. That's it. We're locked in. We're locked in. I guess the mob is not a clever bunch and they need something. I don't know if this is good that this is what they're getting, but I get it to an extent. Don't make noise for your own success. Celebrate alone because it may be more comfortable having a peace of your mind. They took all the pains away from you, and now the pains is with them. What? What does that mean? Because the war I fought, I was alone. No, you weren't. Nobody's ever alone. Effectively, nobody's doing anything in a vacuum. It's just not happening. It's just a figment of your imagination. And if you are completely alone like that, there's a very good chance you just suck ass.
Some of the most masculine men that you'll ever meet will speak soft. They'll warn you 50 times and avoid conflict.
Oh my
And back
god,
off
this is
sometimes.
so true.
Those are the ones who've already analysed how they're going to break your neck, and they know exactly where
Oh
that's
my
going to
god.
land.
Why are you all living in such a like a fake how confrontational are these people's daily lives? Like these people speak like we live in a warrior culture where when you leave the house you're like immediately challenged to a mortal duel for like your own honor. Like these people sell cars. It doesn't make any sense. There's nothing you should not take advice on how to handle like mortal entanglements from someone with a haircut they have to keep up every 3 to 6 days. That's a no for me.
How many ultra marathons did you run in a row?
I ran 800s in 8 weekends in a row.
Yeah, this is you could do so many things other than that with your life. This is a person who's directed a great deal of their unwellness. They've channeled it like Goku making a spirit bomb into running marathons. What the fuck is this? I'm afraid I've stepped into something I'm too foolish to comprehend. Huh? What's happening here? What's happening here? This is clearly just a language I can't understand. All right. Oh, he does have the Goggins with him. Ooh, the man is yelling in your face. Let's go, dude. Nothing homoerotic about these people whatsoever. You know what? Let me get in on this real quick. There we go.
You are will determine what you get in life. This is Minecon. This isn't the Andy Elliott sales training event. You want me to teach you to sell? That's fine. How about I teach you to build a life no one ever believed you could have, including yourself?
There's always enemies I'm noticing in these pitches. There's always an adversarial group. People don't believe in you. Who? Who doesn't believe in you? Who's working against you actively? There's always like an enemy combatant in these pitches.
I know 70% of you won't do the work here in a minute. The reason why you don't have the life that you want right now is because you're...
Can I guess what he's gonna say? Because you're fat. It would be if he says because you're fat, I'll actually subscribe to him and do I will literally do every single thing he says because that's fucking hilarious. But he's gonna say something. He's gonna say like you're lazy, right?
unwilling to do the work. Whenever it
Lazy.
gets hard, you slow down. You avoid the stuff you don't want to do. And at the end of the day, if you just look in the mirror and you say, man, dude, could I really have everything that I wanted?
Your stomach should turn instinctually when someone like a big man yells in your face. I just don't know what else to tell you. These people need guidance, and because of a great majority of them are afraid whenever they feel a great sense of dread whenever they're around something they don't comprehend, they kind of gravitate towards something that can only be described as apish. A big strong guy, you go, oh, he's big and strong, so he did the big strong thing. Like the computing power that leads you to admiring someone like this is incredibly simple. It's a very simple algorithm that leads you to thinking this is a guy you should listen to. He has money, or at least he says he does, and he yells and he's strong. So all those three things together, he's clearly the alpha male. But realistically, the only reason this person's allowed to exist in the capacity he does is because it's sort of just permissible to talk like this in our culture. In any like functioning, let's say near primitive, like macho ruler of the iron fist setting, the moment someone starts yelling and doing things like this, you bash their head in with a rock. That's how societies are formed because these people are very annoying.
Hi there. Would you like to receive a gift? I'm a missionary
Oh,
from the
I
Church
just-
of
this-
Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes. Dude, what is this? Imagine forcing your girlfriend to come to this. Come on, he's like my dad in my head. Come on.
God, please break me of my weaknesses. Amen.
Oh, I didn't know he did God stuff. Oh, he's nailing he's nailing the entire. He's a perfect American snake oil salesman. He's also nailing God. He's roping everybody, every demographic in. I remember when God said this. I remember this. I think it was Deuteronomy 12:16. God cometh down the hill and bringeth with God the great needle of Jerusalem, and inside of it was it was Tren, and I think it was Jesus who first said, needle they musteth first be clean. Do not shareth needles with thy brother, even though you love him.
In here, you're quitters. I don't even need to beat you. You beat yourself. You got things going on in your life right now that need to be fixed. Am I right? Whose fault is it?
It is your fault. Look at what you've done with your time and your money. Look at where you are. I mean, look, it's first of all, it's hilarious to get a bunch of adult men in a room and then berate them and ask them leading questions that make them afraid of using the wrong answer, right? Because he knows the correct answer in this context. He knows he's supposed to say the responsibility is his own. The issue is acknowledging that because you're in a circumstance where if you don't acknowledge it, he will just yell at you more, is kind of defeating the purpose of how you would learn or actually become something in its own right.
People, you act like
But he's not
what
wearing
you're
any
about to say is
pants.
important, or do you just talk to them like it's just normal, everyday conversations? This ain't normal, everyday conversations. This is important. And if it's important, I need to let...
What does he do if you just go, hey, I hear you, but coming to this workplace and having a boss that speaks to me the way that my boss speaks to me makes me want to go to a store and buy ricin and put it in the coffee in the morning. What should I do about that, Andy Elliott? And then he just calls you he could just calls you gay, I'm assuming. I'm assuming he just goes, "You're gay for thinking that." I don't know what else, what's the answer?
Until you die, you must become a new person every single day. Every day for the rest
That
of your
sounds
life. I don't want
exhausting.
anyone to ever... I finally started to realize, dude, she's right. Which, if you're a man in this room, a real man to me is a guy that goes home and motivates his family. How would...
Bro, if I came home and I tried to motivate my wife, I think first of all, she would accuse me of cheating and being on drugs. She'd be like, what are you doing? If I was like, nah, you don't understand. If I was like, you gotta get up, you gotta do the right thing, nothing would upset her more. I like that in these contexts, I like that for these people, a family is like a unit of earners. It all comes back to capital. It all comes back to building money. And then the way they justify this clearly extremely capitalist, materialistic approach to existence is that they go, well, if you don't have money, how are you going to take care of your family? And that is true. But I'm not sure if it's supposed to be the foundation of what brings you together. I don't know if that's you're not supposed to come home from work and start telling your family how to get more money. I feel for the amount of women that have boyfriends and husbands that get wrapped up in this shit, and they come home, they're like a middle manager, at a CVS, and they suddenly decide to change their entire personality. They're suddenly making demands, and they think it's because they're people come home, they suddenly are adapting the behavior of Jocko Willink. It happens. It's a dark thing to imagine. We don't need this. We don't need this. Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need this one. We don't need. My comment on this one is that we don't need this. We don't need the children, with the children in the sports bra, and touching their stomachs. We don't need that. We don't need that one, folks. That one we can do without.
For a couple months, 6 months, right? Grow together.
Is this his wife? They're equally brown. Do they go to the same person to make them brown?
You're here because she matters to you, right? Grow together. That's why
Is this a couples thing?
If something doesn't grow, it dies. And the most important...
If I brought my wife to one of these things and it was a couples thing, she would ceremonially cut my head off with a butcher's knife, with the big wide blade one that you used to cut through bone when you're making pork as a Chinese person. She would take that out of the kitchen and sever my head in front of him. She'd go, "What do you think about this? How does this motivate you, Andy?"
Important thing is that the number one most valuable person in your entire life is the person sitting next to you that you do life with.
And people don't have business problems most times. They have relationship problems and they bring into business and they can't grow.
You guys have been together a couple months, 6 months.
It's nice that he let her speak. He gives her 16 words a day. He goes, she's speaking, he's going, okay, so now it's my turn.
If you're in sales and you get objections every day, raise your hand. Ready? What industry? What is it, online marketing?
What does that mean?
Okay, cool. So you
God,
sell
these fucking
advertising for
goofballs, they
people.
all look exactly the same.
You have a social media that says, hey,
We
if you
we sell opportunities for people to go out and land high income roles. What the fuck does that mean? What is that? We sell opportunities for people to go. Do they sell leads for job opportunity? Is that what we're getting at?
right
Jesus.
now, everybody comment below a buddy that works in your company that you know is freaking dead. And if people can
Wait,
just
what?
click on the
Is dead?
right now, everybody comment below a buddy that works in your company that you know is freaking dead. And if people
Okay, that's interesting. Rest in peace, Johnny. I don't know what the fuck else he means by that.
smiling while you're speaking. This is huge.
No,
When you
no,
go
it makes
to-
everyone
Every single
uncomfortable.
person
Nobody
that
likes it.
worked with us never asked one time what they were going to get paid to come work with us. They just wanted to be a part of our movement, and we changed their lives so much that they wanted to do the same for other people.
Well, it's
Oh my goodness, a promise to change your life, a intentionally mysterious amount of income. It's really just about being part of the family, a part of the team, part of the movement. The movement to do what? To make more money by selling people the idea that they can make money. All of these things come back to the same thing. They are people that market the idea of you marketing the tool that lets other people market. I'm sick of this shit now. I'm tired of being motivated. We're gonna go ahead and do something else. There we go. Now we're talking.
That's a Chapman's Piña Colada happy hour shake. Cheers.
Now we're ready to start the weekend.
Oh my.
He's not yelling at me.
Let's add some cream of coconut to the rim of the glass.
Nice, nice.
And rim with shredded coconut.
Bro, look at his hat.
And we'll put our glass in the freezer to chill.
Very
Scoop
good,
of
very
Chapman's
good.
Piña Colada sorbet.
How do I access that?
And a quarter of a cup of coconut cream.
I could get that.
An ounce and a half of coconut rum.
All right, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
And an ounce and a half of pineapple rum.
Not enough alcohol to do anything to me, but you know,
Let's blend
it's
that all
okay.
together. Let's add our drink to a chilled glass.
You know how good this would taste right now.
Wow. Let's add a
That's my
pineapple
advice for you.
and a pineapple froth.
Oh, now the video is
That's
over
right.
now.
That's a Chapman's Piña Colada happy hour shake.
I mean, what else do you need, folks? What else do you need? You don't need someone yelling in your face about how you're not a man because you don't talk to your wife about how to make $1 million every day and wear tight shorts, get real jacked and yell all day, get real red in the face, take Tren. Heart explodes when you're 65 even though you're jacked. You don't need all that. What you need is a nice Piña Colada or a juicy marg. And this is the fucking terrible video. This is what I've got. We had to do it in time for my wife. We had to do it before my wife got home. And this is the best I could do on short notice, alright? This is the best I could do. This is what I've got, okay? I want you to get out there. I want you to put on your goddamn best captain's outfit. And I want you to get yourself a nice Piña Colada. And if anyone tries to yell in your face about how you're not hard enough or how you're not getting things done quickly enough, tase them. Tase them and see how well their karate works. Give them a nice tase. That's my advice for you. Day 55. Like, comment, and subscribe. I love you all.